Welcome back to the channel Rare Coins All World. Today, we're diving into the remarkable history and potential value of a seemingly humble coin, the 1991 Roosevelt dime. While most people might think of the dime as just a small, everyday coin used for making purchases, this particular year and mint mark carry some truly interesting surprises. Buckle up, because what you're about to learn might make you rethink every dime you come across. First, let's rewind to the year 1991. This was a time of change in the United States. The country was dealing with economic shifts, foreign relations were evolving, and the United States was on the cusp of a new era. But amidst all of this, the U.S. Mint was still hard at work producing the coins that would go on to circulate throughout the nation, including the Roosevelt dime. This coin, which features the profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, had been in circulation since 1946, just after Roosevelt's death, and it became a symbol of his leadership during World War II. Now, you're probably wondering what makes the 1991 Roosevelt dime so special. After all, the design of the dime itself hasn't changed much in decades, so what sets the 1991 edition apart from the others? Well, it all comes down to a few key factors: rarity, mint marks, and, of course, condition. In 1991, the U.S. Mint struck the Roosevelt dime at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. A key element to note here is the mint mark. If you come across a 1991 Roosevelt dime without a mint mark, it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Meanwhile, if the dime has a D mint mark, it means it was minted in Denver. But here's where things get even more interesting: certain coins with unique characteristics or imperfections have the potential to be worth far more than their face value. One of the most important factors to consider when evaluating the worth of any coin is its condition. The value of a coin increases exponentially if it is in mint or uncirculated condition. If you've ever flipped through a coin jar or checked your spare change, you might have come across a few well-worn dimes. While these dimes are still valuable in their own right, they simply won't fetch as much as one that has remained in pristine condition. But that's not all. Error coins are a hot commodity in the world of coin collecting, and the 1991 Roosevelt dime is no exception. While not as common as some other error coins, a 1991 Roosevelt dime with an error such as a misstrike or a double die can drastically increase its value. Imagine stumbling upon a 1991 dime with a double-struck date or one with a significant off-center strike. These errors, while rare, are prized by collectors and can push the coin's value well beyond what you'd expect. So, how much could a 1991 Roosevelt dime be worth? The answer depends on its condition, mint mark, and whether it has any of these unique errors. A typical 1991 dime in good circulation condition is only worth a small amount more than its face value of 10 cents. However, if you have one that is in near mint or uncirculated condition, it can be worth significantly more. If your dime has a double die error or another minting anomaly, the value could jump even further. Now, let's get to the exciting part. Just how much could a 1991 Roosevelt dime potentially be worth? If you happen to have an uncirculated example of this dime, or better yet, a rare error coin with unique features, you might be holding onto something that's worth $48,000. Yes, that's right. $48,000 for a single dime. It's hard to believe, but in the world of coin collecting, rarities like the 1991 Roosevelt dime can command jaw-dropping prices. This is a prime example of how even small, seemingly ordinary coins can become highly valuable over time. The key takeaway here is simple: always keep an eye on your change, especially when you're dealing with coins like the 1991 Roosevelt dime. What might seem like a simple, everyday coin could be worth a fortune if it's in great condition or features a rare minting error. If you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, make sure to keep your eyes peeled for these valuable gems. Whether you have one of these dimes in your pocket change or you're lucky enough to stumble upon one in a collection, knowing what to look for can turn a simple dime into a significant windfall. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about the fascinating world of coin collecting, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an exciting new discovery. From rare dimes to valuable pennies, there's always something incredible to learn in the world of coins. Today, we're going to talk about a coin that may be small in size, but it packs quite a punch when it comes to value. The coin in question is the 1967 Roosevelt dime. At first glance, it may seem like just another dime from the 1960s, but trust me when I say this little gem holds far more history and value than meets the eye. Stick around, because you won't want to miss the incredible potential of this coin. Let's start with a quick background on the Roosevelt dime itself. The coin was first introduced in 1946, just after President Franklin D. Roosevelt's passing. He was widely admired for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, so it made sense that the U.S. Mint would choose his likeness to grace the dime. The design, created by artist John R. Sinek, has remained largely unchanged over the decades. The 1967 Roosevelt dime is part of the regular series of coins produced during the 1960s. You might be wondering, what makes this specific year and mint mark so significant? Well, it's important to understand that coins from certain years, especially those from times of economic shifts, political changes, or even unusual production circumstances, can be rarer and more valuable than others. The 1967 dime, while not the rarest coin in the world, is one that holds more intrigue when you consider its condition, mint mark, and potential for errors. In 1967, the U.S. Mint struck dimes at two locations, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. The dimes produced at Philadelphia have no mint mark, while those struck in Denver are marked with a D. The 1967 Roosevelt dime was produced in large quantities, but the minting process was far from perfect. Some of these dimes are known for having imperfections, whether due to slight errors in the striking process or unusual wear during circulation. This is where things start to get exciting. Coins that have survived with minimal wear, or that feature minting errors, can be worth far more than their face value. The most significant factor in determining the value of the 1967 Roosevelt dime, like any collectible coin, is its condition. A coin in near-perfect or uncirculated condition will always fetch a higher price. If you're lucky enough to have a 1967 dime that has been carefully preserved and remains in excellent condition, you're already holding onto a valuable piece of history. Coins that have been graded at MS65 or higher, meaning they have almost no visible wear and their surfaces are exceptionally smooth, can see their values increase dramatically, but that's not all. Error coins are highly sought after by collectors. While the 1967 Roosevelt dime may not be known for a specific, widely recognized error, it's always worth checking for the possibility of minting mistakes. A double die, misstruck coin, or off-center strike could elevate the value of a dime from its face value to something much more significant. These errors are rare and hard to find, but when they do surface, they can cause collectors to pay a premium for a coin that would otherwise be considered common. So, how much is this 1967 Roosevelt dime worth? Well, that depends on a few important factors. If you have one that's in average condition, you're probably looking at a coin worth around its face value of 10 cents. However, if you have a coin that has been kept in pristine condition, you may be looking at a value in the range of several dollars. But, for the real jackpot, if you happen to have a 1967 Roosevelt dime with rare minting errors or an impeccable grade, you could be looking at a much larger payout. Now, let's talk numbers. How much could a high-quality, rare 1967 Roosevelt dime be worth? Are you sitting down? Because a single well-preserved, high-quality 1967 Roosevelt dime could be worth $43,000. Yes, you heard that right, $43,000 for a single dime. That's the kind of potential we're talking about when it comes to rare and valuable coins. It's hard to believe, but the truth is that the world of coin collecting is full of surprises. A simple dime, one that you might find in your change jar or in a pile of loose coins, could turn out to be worth far more than you ever imagined. Whether it's due to its age, its condition, or an error in the minting process, coins like the 1967 Roosevelt dime can be worth a small fortune if you know what to look for. So, the next time you come across a 1967 Roosevelt dime, take a moment to examine it closely. Check for any signs of wear, errors, or imperfections. If you're unsure of its condition, you might want to get it professionally graded by a coin expert. The value of your coin could be far more than you think, and you just might be holding onto a hidden treasure. Remember, it's not just about the coin itself, it's about understanding the history, rarity, and the value that can lie within something as small as a dime. Coin collecting is a fascinating hobby that can turn even the most modest coins into prized possessions. Today, we're diving into a truly special coin that might be hiding in your collection or even tucked away in your change jar. Yes, we're talking about the 1985 Roosevelt dime, a coin that might seem like just another dime, but in reality, it has the potential to be worth far more than its face value. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have a whole new appreciation for this iconic coin. The Roosevelt dime has been a staple of U.S. currency since 1946, and it was designed to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away in 1945. John R. Sinek's design, featuring a portrait of Roosevelt on the obverse and a torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse, has remained virtually unchanged for decades. It's a simple yet powerful design, meant to reflect Roosevelt's legacy of leadership during some of the most challenging times in U.S. history, including the Great Depression and World War II. Now, let's focus on the 1985 Roosevelt dime. This coin may seem like just another dime to the untrained eye, but believe it or not, it's a coin that can hold significant value. The Roosevelt dime was minted in huge numbers throughout the years, and the 1985 variety was no exception. However, the value of these coins isn't solely determined by their year of minting. In fact, certain factors like mint marks, condition, and rarity can make a world of difference in how much they're worth. When it comes to the 1985 Roosevelt dime, it's crucial to consider the mint marks. The U.S. Mint struck these dimes at two different locations, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. The coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint typically don't have a mint mark, while those from the Denver Mint carry a D mint mark. Both versions of the 1985 Roosevelt dime are relatively common, but that doesn't mean they're not valuable. The value of a dime, like any coin, is largely dependent on its condition. If you happen to find a 1985 Roosevelt dime that is in great condition, specifically, one that has been well preserved and shows minimal signs of wear, you're already looking at a coin that is worth more than just its face value of 10 cents. Coins that are well preserved and graded as high as MS 65, Mint State 65, or better can see their value significantly increase. These high-quality dimes, which have sharp details and only minor imperfections, are sought after by collectors who are willing to pay a premium for them, but the true allure of the 1985 Roosevelt dime comes from its potential to be a rarer find. While the general mintage numbers for this year are fairly high, certain varieties and minting errors make certain examples of this coin highly desirable to collectors. For instance, a 1985 Roosevelt dime with any kind of significant error, whether it's a double die, off-center strike, or a misaligned die, can dramatically boost the coin's value. These types of errors are incredibly rare and very hard to come by, but if you happen to stumble upon one, you could be looking at a substantial payout. Error coins are always in demand, and collectors pay top dollar for those that are unique or hard to find. So, if you have a 1985 Roosevelt dime that looks slightly different from others, whether it's due to a minting anomaly or just exceptional condition, it's definitely worth checking out further. You might be asking yourself, how much is this 1985 Roosevelt dime worth? Well, if you've got a well-preserved example that has been carefully stored and is in pristine condition, you could easily see it valued at several dollars above its face value. However, for coins that feature rare errors or are in particularly excellent condition, the value can be astronomical. Some of these rare finds could go for an amount that might surprise you. Now, let's talk numbers. If you happen to have a high-quality, rare 1985 Roosevelt dime in your collection, you could be looking at an estimated worth of $40,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $40,000. This isn't just a random number, this is a realistic estimate based on the current coin market, which rewards collectors with deep pockets and a passion for rare, high-quality coins. Of course, as with any coin, it's essential to get a professional appraisal if you suspect that your 1985 Roosevelt dime is particularly valuable. The market for coins can fluctuate, and the value of your dime could vary depending on its condition, rarity, and the specific demand from collectors at any given time. But the bottom line is clear: the 1985 Roosevelt dime, when in top-notch condition or featuring a rare error, can be worth an impressive sum.so. The next time you come across a 1985 Roosevelt dime, take a closer look. Is it well worn, or does it look like it's been carefully protected from the elements? Are there any signs of unusual minting defects or errors? If you think your dime might be more valuable than you originally thought, consider having it professionally graded by a reputable coin grading service. A little investment in getting your coin evaluated could pay off in a big way, and there you have it, folks, the incredible potential of the 1985 Roosevelt dime. It may be small, but its value can be massive, depending on its condition, rarity, and any potential minting errors. If you found this video informative and exciting, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon so you never miss a coin collecting tip. Who knows, your next great find could be hiding in plain sight. Happy hunting, and remember, sometimes the smallest coins hold the most incredible value. Keep an eye out, because the next rare coin could be just around the corner.